Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about all the social media influencers who admit how difficult it is to be as lean as they are, to get as lean as they are, and people miss that. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below and drop me a comment, I would appreciate it so much. And this is a topic we have to have because I think people truly don't understand. They're under the assumption when they see some of these really, really ripped influencers and fitness personalities that they're like, well, if we just eat healthy and eat clean and train, then we'll get really lean eventually. And they're not understanding that these are unsustainable. Like the levels of lean you're often seeing, these people are not getting there just by eating healthy. Okay, they're not getting there just by training and doing cardio. What you oftentimes find is that so a perfect example, a lot of these guys, they'll get shredded, and I don't even always mean contest shredded. I'm just talking lean enough to have really, really, really good abs if there's someone who struggles with appetite. Notice how much they talk about how much they suffer doing it. And I don't think people understand that. Again, they're thinking, well, this is sustainable. And they're not understanding these guys are not staying that lean year round. And it's oftentimes extremely difficult. So I don't think they understand that plenty of these people, and if they admit it, okay, it's not like they don't admit it, or they develop eating disorders and all sorts of issues as a result of dieting down super, super lean. But I know plenty of these guys, they don't have a six-pack year round, even though they might get real lean. You're like, man, they look great there. Keep in mind lighting, Photoshop, dehydration, plus the dieting. They're not always as lean as you think, and that same person might not even have a six-pack 3 to 6 months out of the year. Like almost half the year sometimes, a lot of these same people, they don't even have a six-pack. They don't have abs. And I think that has to be noted when people are using this as goals. So again, you have to understand that. And I know a lot of these people, when you start listening, they start talking about the things they take to suppress their appetite. And I want everyone listening to grasp that point. Tons of these influencers you're looking at admit to using multiple drugs to suppress appetite just to get that lean. And they admit their quality of life suffers. I mean, everything from using nicotine gums all the way up to things like clenbuterol. Okay, so they're using sometimes black market stimulants that help with all this, speed up activity. And we'll see plenty of them when they do admit it. They're like, yeah, I use Clen and Yohimbe, so they're using multiple fat burning substances that work at these different receptors. They're using GLP-1s, they're using thyroid hormones. Again, other stuff to suppress appetite, nicotine gums, extreme dietary approaches. You'll see a lot of that, or extreme protein overfeeding, and they'll admit, they're like, I'm having to drink 2 gallons of water a day on top of it just to keep my binging at bay. Okay, so we have to understand this impact on quality of life. Okay, there's a definite impact on quality of life occurring with this. And so we need to understand this isn't always fitness. And no, I'm not telling people to run around and be fat. I'm not telling you to be at an unhealthy body fat. In fact, I would say to men, yeah, you don't want to be over 20% body fat. No, it's not healthy. It's not a good idea. All right? You should be under 20%. I would make a good case if you really wanted optimal health. If you wanted to be 100% optimal, to be fair, you could be a bit leaner than I am now and actually be pretty optimal. So let me be clear. I'm not even saying, well, that I am the pinnacle of fitness perfection or anything, because I'm not, In all honesty, optimal, absolute 100% optimal health and fitness, I could stand to be leaner than I am. And again, just objectively speaking, I could stand to strip off another 10 pounds of body fat from where I am right now and would be in a really, really good place in terms of that. So again, it's just not me telling people, well, Jason Blaha is the pinnacle of perfection or anything, because I'm not. I got plenty of loose skin from losing fat. I'm 48 years old, but I'm in a healthy athletic body fat range. But I could get leaner and be pretty optimal in terms of health. You can go leaner than I am. But I think, I would say really that optimal range for most guys is somewhere as low as 10% up to about 15% body fat is for really probably the best spot you could be. 10% may be too lean. There are going to be guys out here who really struggle to be at 10% just due to the appetite just the struggling with their diet and body image. But I think we also have to understand the body dysmorphia that can come with forcing yourself to get too lean. And I get it. A lot of times, some people's activity level, like, look, sometimes when you're eating really clean and you're a super high output athlete, you don't have a crazy appetite, you end up getting pretty dang lean just due to the activity, especially if you do certain stuff, lots and lots of cardio-based activities and sports and stuff. Sure. I think we see plenty of that. Dudes can get pretty dang lean, guys and gals both. Definitely leaner than I am without having appetite issues. There's plenty of cases. But we do reach a threshold of where when people are chasing the body composition in and of itself, where it comes at a psychological toll, it comes at a quality of life toll. And you have to think about that. And a lot of times people will emulate that and go, well, I want to do that. I want to cut down to that level. And my question would be, is there a reason you're doing it? Okay. Or you have a photo shoot planned? Or you have an event planned? Like, do you have an actual reason? And if they got something like that, I get it. They're like, no, I just want to get real lean. I want to get some photos. I'm going to have a photo shoot lined up so that I can have just to have. Okay, I can get that. And I don't think that's an unreasonable. So let's be realistic. If that's what someone wants to do, sure, okay. I understand that it may come at a price. But when it's something, I've got a day at the beach planned, I'm like, you're going to try to look like that for a day out in the sun and the beach? You sure? It's like, wait, what? It may involve dehydrating yourself. And you're going to be out there on the sunny beach. This could actually hurt you. Why? Just to look good for an hour at the beach? What happens if you end up in the hospital? Have we not seen this happen to some influencers? Have we not seen this happen already to a couple people? I know that we have. Well, it happened to Callie Muscle. So again, be aware, think this stuff through. And I think what people need to understand, if you're not someone who just gets to that level with these other activities, this creates eating disorders sometimes. And I've known guys personally. I've been in these circles, guys. I've been around a lot of this. I do know other people here in the fitness game who put out content. And I've known people who've developed some eating disorders and extra body image disorders from that. So just be aware of that dark side of it. Like, it doesn't come for free. It's not like everybody can just diet down to that extreme level of lean and just bounce back and be okay. Okay, there's a toll that comes with that. And the problem is, a lot of times once you've done it and then you got all the pictures, and it's like, unfortunately, I see a lot of guys in there unhappy not being there. And it's like they had to make real sacrifices to get there. Affected sometimes their career, affected their relationships, their marriages, their girlfriends, boyfriends, right? This sometimes comes at a price. Because of, again, the emotional sides and the crankiness and the things they give up for it. It can be a lot. It can be daunting. And then they can't sustain it, and then they want to sustain it. Again, they get that image of, but this is what I can look like at my best in this photo shoot. Okay. And it's not sustainable. And then that affects their self-esteem. So be aware that these things can happen. So I always remind people of this. Look, if you're someone who gets there easily, it's totally different. Totally different. And that happens with athletes in certain endeavors because their energy output is so high. They eat a really clean diet. They're just not getting hungry all the time. They're not having to do other stuff. But when you're getting to a point where you are having to use appetite suppressing drugs to get to a certain level of leanness plus fat burners, there's going to be a rebound on the end of that. Okay? And what I would ask people is, if you're getting to that point, like you'll see this influencer doing it, do you have a good reason? Like, are you literally doing a bodybuilding show? Are you doing a professional photo shoot? Do you have a payoff for the sacrifice you're going to make? And I think this is a question people need to really sit back and ask themselves. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.